Hey everybody, hope you're enjoying your Friday. This will probably be my last video of the summer as far as the aspen cutting goes. I'm actually on a different property. This is kind of it's a section of woods between two big egg fields. And what the landowner said is it provides some great early season hunting, but then once the leaves fall off, the deer activity starts to diminish, and I think this section of woods is used more as a kind of a travel way, but it doesn't necessarily hold that many deer. And you can kind of see why that is. So if you look in this woods, you look at the understory, it is loaded with good herbaceous growth. Where I did my cutting, there was quite a bit of grasses. So the forbs provide good food, provide some good fawning cover, and where the grasses are, it's even thick enough where it provides cover. And in the summer, what deer want is they want a canopied woods because it's nice and cool. You can get out of the sun, enjoy the good airflow, as you can hear the wind howling. But the problem is we plan a lot of our habitat improvements for the fall. In the fall in Minnesota, what we need is high stem count. So I mean, it looks thick in here, but really once these forbs dry up and the grasses start to lay flat, there's not much for cover, and there definitely is not much for food because there's not much woody growth. So that's what we're trying to do with this cut today, is to promote that woody vegetation and try to help it be a little bit, or hold a few more deer as far as into the hunting season. You know, that first 2 weeks it's good, but I'd like to have it hold deer throughout the majority of the hunting season, and even provide some late season food and cover. So I'll get into the area where I did my cutting. Again, primarily aspen. I hinged a few trees. We got some elm right here, so I hinged a few over. Created kind of a little bit of a bedding nook up in here. As you can see, there's a nice spot where a deer could potentially bed. We got a good exit out this way. One little stick here getting out of the way. Got a nice exit out that way. I mean, it's just it's a good room with a view, and this is a hinge tree, so this will stay like this, but you can see it provides some really nice cover, good escapes. So we'll cut back out this direction. Another little pocket right there where I could see a deer bedding. You can see here there's, like I said, there's some more grasses, so I did find a few deer beds. I'm sure as far as does and fawns, they definitely enjoy the cover, and it is nice and cool getting out of the sun. So this was mostly young growth. There's a few trees I tipped over, and I did hinge them. I always say not to hinge aspen, but I always end up hinging a few. So they be dangerous to hinge. They do hinge a little bit better in the summer because they're softer. They're not as brittle as they are in the winter. But I just like to leave them hinged, leave a few hinged because it kind of props them up, and then I can drop stuff on top of them and provide a little temporary cover while this stuff blows up. But here's the main travel route through this area. Kind of cuts up through here, goes out that way. I did make some deer beds kind of along the way. There's one with a couple hinged elms. So this was logged at one point, and this is the slash pile actually right there. I don't know how long ago it was logged based on the size of the trees. If I had to guess, maybe roughly 10 years ago is my guess. That's what they say with logging. Around that 10-year mark is when it starts to really lose its benefit, and you have to start resetting trees, and that's what we did here, is trying to reset the early successional growth. So here's another little pocket with that big slash pile behind there. A couple good escape routes. I can definitely see a deer holding up in there. Just cut on through here. So this one, I mean, it looks, maybe looks thick on the video, but it's not quite as thick as the other cuts I was doing because it was such small timber, but that's okay. It means that stuff will break down quickly, and within a few years, as that new growth starts to really come, I mean, it'll get thick in here and hopefully start to hold a few more deer into the hunting season. But I did hinge, again, there's a couple bigger trees over here. It was just so open, I wanted to get a little bit of structure in right here, so I tipped a few of the bigger trees that were on the perimeter into where I cut, just to give it a little bit of structure. There's a little spot up here, I could see a deer bedding where I kind of raked it out a little bit. Just a nice backstop there, and the overhead trunk and nice soft spot to lay. Definitely see one holding up in there. So, but yeah, it's good to get out and do this kind of thing if you want to try to promote better habitat on your farm, because once the trees grow outside the deer's reach, they start to lose their value, their benefit for the deer. And you can see the size of this stuff. Now this would be an area, if you had the means, had the money to do it, you could run a forestry mulcher through here and just really go to town, because this stuff is not very big at all, and it goes like this for quite a ways that way. You could open up some big pockets and reset the succession that way. I do expect this to prop back up and provide a little bit of cover and start to regenerate this summer, but I mean, we are in June now, so a lot of the growth will probably come next year. But getting these trees down is creating some really good habitat, and if you look up, I mean, we got a wide open sky. It's always the best part. Looking up, the sun's going to get down in here, and it should really help that new growth to come. If we can get some moisture, you could probably get a few feet of growth yet this year. Provide some of that high stem count that the deer definitely need. Here's another kind of a neat spot where I could see a deer bedding with a good backstop. So yeah, that was the project today. Felt good to get out and break a sweat and just enjoy God's creation. So I hope you all are well. Take care and God bless.